Today we're going to talk about Leviathan, or I'm going to talk about Leviathan and you're going to listen to it because it's not live. I did some Googling and Wikipedia came up with Leviathan is often the embodiment of chaos, threatening to eat the damned when their lives are over. It's the water dragon representing the sin envy. In the end, Leviathan is destroyed by God. Until then, it rules over the material world. Leviathan is described as a serpentine water dragon and sometimes a whale, even a hydra. When I was typing in queries to get AI to make some images for this, it kept trying to make it look like those creatures from Pacific Rim or Godzilla, and like those are cool and all, but not quite a water serpent. And one of them even looked like Nessie, which made me wonder, is Nessie a Leviathan? She's rather elusive, but it doesn't really spur people to, well, she does cause some chaos sometimes when someone has a new picture of her, a new blurry filmed with a potato picture of her. And maybe there are many of them and they all look different. It is mentioned in Psalms. I didn't put the line down, but God broke the heads of the dragons in the water and fed it to his people inhabiting the wilderness. And yet it's still around today. So there's definitely either multiples or a respawn period, or maybe it's a shapeshifter too. Maybe. It is an enemy spirit, so it's possible. And with the respawn period thing, maybe it does just keep respawning, or it's like eels. Did you know eels don't have reproductive organs? So like, where do they come from? Was it really a serpent in the garden, or was it an eel? Anyway, back to Leviathan. Like any enemy spirit, all of the enemy spirits, they are tasked with taking us away from God. And Leviathan is associated with the sin envy, which is over worldly things, consumerism, always going after the new tech, the feeling that you must have the best of the best, even though it leaves you empty inside. The new tech, the designer clothes, the fancy car. And it leaves you always wanting something, but not knowing what. So you go after items, things, worldly things. And envy makes you want something, or makes you want something that someone else has, or a physical or personality trait that they might have. It makes you envious of someone else for having things that you don't have, and you most of the time don't need. Leviathan is a smooth talker, like all of the spirits of the enemy. And he distracts you from what is already yours, and what a blessing it all is. Working his darkness on you and drowning out God's quiet, calm voice. This distraction is a tactic to lead you deeper into sin, so that you'll feel trapped and begin to believe the lies that he whispers in your ear. Leviathan wants to keep you from going home to Christ and resting in him. Leviathan is one of the big wigs. It's a sin envy, the sin. And what follows him? Where'd he go? What follows him is chaos and manipulation, lies, pride, arrogance, and those things all are at like the base of a lot of psychological disorders too, or at least a handful, but they're pretty big ones. I'll get to those in a minute. People under the influence of Leviathan will repeatedly lie and manipulate to get what they want or what they think they want. And they're always wanting something. They also believe themselves to be above everyone else. You know, they have puffed up egos, puffed up, very fragile egos. And the people closest to them are not seen as individual people. They're seen as extensions of the one under Leviathan who uses them to fulfill needs and nothing else. Like they're all about themselves and using everyone to fulfill their needs and then offering nothing in return. And with Leviathan being, you know, the bigwig, envy, chaos, when it's paired with other spirits, including but not limited to the Jezebel spirit, it can create double-mindedness, manic depressive bipolar disorder. I'm not totally sure which one of those is appropriate to use now. I know bipolar is more common to see when you see like the medications in the commercials, but it did start out as manic depressive, the title of the condition. And then there's also schizophrenia and narcissistic personality disorder, which is where the Leviathan mixed with the Jezebel spirits comes into play. And once you get one of those in there, a bunch of other little ones fall in place. Like schizophrenia is a whole butt ton of them. I'll see if I can get the picture out of the book I have. That will be in the description. I'll put links to the books and stuff that I read to get all this information together. But all these conditions are found to be a mixture of enemy spirits working simultaneously. I wouldn't say working together, because they don't do that, but working simultaneously to create just absolute chaos inside your head and make you do things that actual you wouldn't do or say or feel was appropriate to lie about and do again. And all that being said, did I mention this might be kind of a short video? So we're good. All that being said, whether we're birthed by them, raised by them, or just live in closeness with them, you know, maybe you're a roommate or you're married to one, or whatever the situation is. It could just be a family member that lives next door, you know. Until we recognize what their deal is and learn that it's not us making them do that, even though they say it's us. They say, you made me mess up. You made me mad, so I'm going to hurt you in some way or another. Until we realize that it's not us, it's them, we're going to continue to go back to those kind of people because it's familiar. I wouldn't say comfortable. It's hella uncomfortable, but it's familiar, and that cycle needs to break. In my own personal life, I'm breaking that cycle. And I remind myself daily that all the enemy wants is to steal, kill, and destroy. To steal us from God, to kill our purpose, and destroy our humanity. All it wants is power and control. It doesn't care about who it hurts. It just wants it, and so it's going to go get it by any means that it deems necessary. Yep. Yep. Job, chapter 7, verse 12. Am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? Chapter 26, verse 12. He divideth the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. Verse 40, 11 and 12. Or chapter 40, verses 11 and 12. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold every one that is proud, and abase him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Chapter 41, verses 1 and 2. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Chapter 41, verses 14 and 15. Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. Chapter 41, verses 24. His heart is as firm as a stone, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. Chapter 41, verse 31. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Psalms, chapter 18, verse 15. Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Chapter 18, verse 40. Thou hast also given me the necks of thine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. Chapter 22, verse 12. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me around. Chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Chapter 36, verse 11. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. Chapter 68, verse 22. The Lord said, I will bring again from Bashan. I will bring my people again from the depths of the sea. Chapter 74, verses 13 and 14. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Chapter 89, verse 10. Thou hast broken Rahab in pieces, as one that is slain. Thou hast scattered thine enemies with thy strong arm. Chapter 94, verse 2. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Chapter 119, verse 21. Thou hast rebuked the proud that are cursed, which do err from thy commandments. Chapter 119, verse 122. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Chapter 104, verse 26. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to play therein. Chapter 124, verse 5. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Verse 135, chapter 135, verse 10 and 11. Who smote great nations, and slew mighty kings, Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, and all the kingdoms of Canaan. Chapter 140, verse 5. The proud have set hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 5. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. Chapter 27, verse 1. In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Chapter 28, verse 1. Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. Chapter 44, verse 27. That saith to the deep, be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers. Chapter 51, verse 9. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Lord. Awake as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not in that hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon? The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 32. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all around about him. Chapter 50, verse 38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Chapter 51, verse 36. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea, and make her springs dry. The book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 22. But when a stronger than he shall come upon him, and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor, wherein he trusted, and divideth his spoils. The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 2. Howl, fir tree, the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the beast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches of the wilderness.